Hello and welcome back to the FM20 Leeds United save. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend because, quite frankly, I didn't enjoy mine. The Streamer Showdown didn't go that well. We got knocked out. We came bottom of the table and lost the elimination match. So, wasn't great. I also got a notification from the NHS Track and Trace app saying that I came into close proximity with someone who has tested positive for COVID-19 and I've got to now quarantine for 2 weeks, which is inconvenience more than anything else. I've got no symptoms or anything like that, so I think it's very unlikely that I do have COVID, but I've got to stick to the rules and I've got to quarantine for 2 weeks, so lucky me. But other than that, we're all good. Hope you all had a good weekend and you're looking forward to today's episode. Lokomotiv Moscow and Tottenham await us. Obviously, Lokomotiv, the final game in our Champions League group, which has gone really, really well, and Tottenham in the league, who aren't having a great season. Hopefully we can get another win under our belt to get ourselves back on track. First things first, I'm going to set a likes target of 200 likes on today's video. That would be massively appreciated. And also, whilst you're down there dropping a like on the video, there is a link down there to buy Football Manager 2020 from 2Game, who I'm partnered up with. You get access to the beta, and the beta is only about 2 weeks or so away now, I would say. So make sure you do get your games pre-ordered. Use code TomFM at the checkout for a 10% discount as well. I just can't wait for it. I think you can probably tell that I can't wait for it. You can see that the content is drying up a little bit. Obviously, we've not done much on Twitch recently either. It's drying up just a little bit, and I'm just looking forward to FM21 now. I just want to get started on that and get going. But we still have a task to do with Leeds United. Since you were last here, we have played an awful lot of games. I think you were last here for the Atletico Madrid and Crystal Palace game. We've played all of these games to get through to the Lokomotiv Moscow and Tottenham game. And as you can see, we've done pretty well. We've only lost 2 games in there. A 2-1 defeat to Everton in the Premier League and a 2-1 defeat to Atletico Madrid away from home in the Champions League. We've won quite a few games, but we have won quite a few games, but a lot of them are cup games. If you look at the actual Premier League, we've drawn a lot of Premier League games, and that has had a bit of an impact in the Premier League. I think what we'll do, rather than go through all these fixtures, because quite frankly, there's loads of them to go through and it would just take too much time. Although saying that, it is worth pointing out first goals for the club for Anthony Ward, Thomas Sarov and Timo Wolf as well. Congratulations, you guys. We've only lost 1 Premier League game so far this season. We do find ourselves 5th in the table because we've had 6 draws and nowhere near as many wins as other teams. Whereas we've drawn 6, Arsenal have taken those 6 draws and won 5 of them and lost 1 of them, which is why they are so far ahead of us, 9 points ahead of us in the league table, which is rather frustrating, I must say, considering that we've got such a good defensive record. It's not been an issue with scoring goals, I don't think. It's just some games we've just been unlucky with. I don't know what it is really, but basically we have drawn a lot of games. We've drawn too many games. We need to get back to winning ways today. In terms of our Champions League group though, we have already qualified as first in the group by winning 4 games and losing 1 to Atletico Madrid. Atletico keep drawing games. They've drawn to both Lokomotiv Moscow and Olympiacos, beaten us and beat one of these teams. And I think they lost to Lokomotiv Moscow as well. So Moscow are a pretty decent side. If we actually end up losing to Moscow, they go to 9 points. And if Olympiacos can beat Atletico Madrid, then actually Moscow could go ahead of Atletico Madrid in the group and qualify for the later stages, which actually might help us out a little bit further down the line. But other than all of this, there's not actually that much to report on what's happened. No players have come to me. No one wants to leave the club. No one wants a new contract. It's actually been a very calm period at Leeds United. So we're going to jump straight into things against Lokomotiv Moscow. This is the lineup that I want to go for, and because we are already through and safe as first qualified from our group, it's all right to take a little bit of a risk and play quite a few youngsters in this game. So the back line isn't too much different. We've got Van Voort there with Ben Davies, Josko Gabardol, Rodolfo Signo, our young Argentinian region that we bought a few seasons ago from Racing Club for £3 million. Been on loan all over the place and is finally getting a bit of a run out for us, but he's doing quite well. And of course, Reece James starting at right back. Tuchel Thomas joins Valenzuela and Thaddeus Davis in the midfield. Anthony Ward starts on the left, Holozek starts on the right, and Timo Wolf lines up front. So then, as kickoff is upon us here today, instantly Anthony Ward picks up a bruised ankle. We might have to take you off very shortly, which is rather frustrating. But the youngsters have played really well. It's been good to try and integrate them into the team this season. To say that we are still 5th in the table after so long, and we've been integrating the youngsters into the squad, I think is really impressive. It is a good credit to the players around them as well, that they are doing their bit. Everyone's pulling their weight, and we are having a really good season, and there's a lot of things to be happy about for the future as well, because we've got such good young players in the squad. Although this game, they're not having too much of an impact, as there's been not a single highlight in this first half. As we go into half-time, 0-0 with Lokomotiv Moscow. Not great. What I think we might do, I'm going to say aggressively, actually, might be a performance out there, but I think because Anthony Ward is a little injured, we'll take him off and we'll bring onto the pitch Danny Booth instead. Danny, more of a striker, but can play left wing as well, and we're more than capable to fill in for now, as we look like we have a chance maybe in the 53rd minute as Reece James shoots from distance, getting his second goal of the season. The first highlight of the game yields the first goal of the game, and luckily for us, it has come to us. I think it took a big deflection off a Lokomotiv Moscow player in here somewhere, as Davies put it in. Oh, I thought it was Valenzuela who headed it down to James. It wasn't. It was actually the player heading it out, trying to clear it. But actually, Reece James gets on the end of it, shoots and scores, which is obviously very, very good for him. As the clock continues to tick down, and not an awful lot happens in this game, apart from a Lokomotiv corner right now. Faye puts it into the middle, and it's not been dealt with properly, and is turned into the back of the net. We had that too easy for them there. That was far too easy to score, as Vox gets his first goal of the season. To combat that, we're going to make two more substitutions. Thomas Sarov is going to come on for Valenzuela, and then O'Neill will come on for Holozek, and that's a 5 Patreon players on the pitch. If Anthony Ward was still there, that could be 6. Unfortunately, he had to go off injured. Obviously, the plan for FM21 is the Lincoln Loco 3, and the dream is to have a full 11 of Patreon players that we've come through our youth academy. That is the absolute dream for that save, and hopefully that does come true for us in that save. Hopefully it's going to be quite a long one. I assume it'll be quite a long one because it's quite a big challenge what I've got planned out for it. So stay tuned for more information on that one as it comes out, as Lokomotiv Moscow nearly grab a winner in the dying moments of the game. I tell you what, I think our youngsters have played very well, as O'Neill can't get on the ends of the corner. Come on, let's get a goal, you youngsters. Let's get a goal, you lads. And you can prove to us all that you are quality players, as instead it's Lokomotiv Moscow coming forward, which I'm very nervous about, but Van Voort with a good save. Will the highlight continue? Yes, it will, as Thomas Sarov has loads of space in the middle of the park. He comes forward. Go on, find a ball into Danny Booth. Not quite getting it to the injured Danny Booth now. He's also picked up a knock. I guess the players on our left-hand side of the pitch, for Lokomotiv players corresponding, are pretty dirty, trying to injure our players, which isn't great, as they come forward and nearly grab a winner. Luckily for us, we are already through our group, qualified in first place. So that means we get to play someone who came second in another group, which is hopefully going to be an advantage to us. But you can almost imagine that actually a second place, like a Chelsea, we'll come against Chelsea, who are really good at something like that. But full time is there, 1-1. Not a bad result, I must say, considering that we had, you know, a very, very young, inexperienced squad out there. I think we did. I don't know what I've done there to confuse. I'm happy with what I saw out there. I was happy. You know, we had a very young squad playing. I was happy with that, and defence played very well too. And we've got Reece James on a 9. Everyone. That's not so good, is it? But we're through a group, which is absolutely fantastic. Not quite sure when the draw will be for the next stage of the competition. Oh, you love to see it. Lincoln City, we've been drawn against my team, Lincoln City, in the FA Cup. I'm tempted to lose this. I am very tempted to just like throw out a youth squad and lose this game so Lincoln get further. They get loads of money then for playing against us, and hopefully get to play a bigger club in the next round. Oh, this is perfect. Youth intake preview has come through again. It's right at the end of FM20, so we won't really get to see any of these players come through and be good. But apparently we've got another golden generation. We have one every single season apparently, but quite frankly, I've not really seen much gold from it yet. Van Voort taken ill with a cold though. We'll send him home to doesn't infect other people in the squad, because that just becomes a real issue if that happens. So we might miss the Tottenham game, but if he does, we do have a good backup keeper in place. Oh, Nuri also coming down with a cold as well. He definitely will miss this Tottenham game now, which is a little bit annoying, but I don't want to risk spreading colds around the entire squad. I've got my track and trace turned on for all these players, so if they go anywhere else, I know what's going on. So annoyingly, Van Voort, Nuri, and Holozek, who's picked up a random injury, of course, because it's Holozek, all can't play. In that case, Nick Pope will have to go in goal with a backline of Davies, Godfrey, Gomez, and James. Thomas, Taylor and Valenzuela take up that midfield trio with Bergwijn and Renier back on the wings, and Baby with 10 goals to his name this season will lead the line for us. So kickoff is upon us in a really big game. I believe we've drawn 5 of our last 5 league games, so we need to get a win under our belts this time around to sort of just break that drawing curse, get back to winning ways and start to push ourselves back into those Champions League spots. I assume other teams have played midweek as well, which is why we've dropped down to 6th in the table. Win this game, we go to 36 points and we'll get back inside that top 4, so we do need to be picking up the big points today. Onana with the ball for Tottenham, already more highlights in this first 5 minutes than I think we had in the entire game against Lokomotiv Moscow, but Rashford coming forward for Tottenham, gets past one into Dele Alli, who puts that one in the back of the net. Not a great start to the game. Dare I say it, if we did have a fit Van Voort, he would have made that save. Nick Pope has no match sharpness in him, which is rather frustrating, but I suppose it's the risk you have to take with a backup keeper sometimes. As Harry Kane and Rashford, oh, they've got such a good attacking line, Tottenham. I don't understand why they're never in the top 4, because they're always in and around the Europa League, or not even in Europa League. Like right now, they're 9th in the table. They've got such a good attack, but they never seem to do much with it, which is the issue. But Harry Kane on the ball, who's not in the area. Why was he lurking out here? Why was he not in the middle of the area? Surely he's like the man to aim for on a corner. Unless, of course, your name is Roy Hodgson and you put him on corners instead. But to add insult to injury, Ben Davies is now injured. So that means we're going to play Josko at left back, which is fine. He can play left back, but obviously not as well as Ben Davies or Ait Nouri. And I tell you what you love to see. 13 months pretty much into a game's life cycle. Look at that bug. It's just gone now. As I move my mouse over it, that bug was there. But you see it, you know, oh, you hate to see it, don't you? It doesn't really fill me with hope when FM21 is around the corner and there's still bugs like this in FM20. But I mean, hopefully we get a bug-free game at launch. That'll be quite nice. In the meantime, Lo Celso's just done that though, hasn't he? So 2-0 down at half-time. I'll go a bit aggressive. We should be playing better than this. I mean, if you look at the match stats, it's very much like my weekend on the Streamer Showdown. We are completely in the game. We can't score a goal. That's the issue. That's what we can't seem to do, basically. Baby looking very frustrated. Bergwijn having done nothing all game. Let's get them both off. For Rian Brewster on the left, and then we'll bring Barisic on up front. But by looks of things, those substitutes aren't going to make any sort of impact on the game, as we are about to succumb to a 2-0 defeat to Leeds United. Unless Reece James can do something magical right now by like give the ball to Rashford. Of course, that makes sense, doesn't it? Kane into Grimaldo, cleared by Josko, but only as far as their number 5, who's looking to come forward. And I can feel a goal coming, and I feel like it's going to be a third for Tottenham, unfortunately, as Rashford has been a nuisance for us down that left-hand side. Gets past 1, gets past 2, gets past nearly 3, but they still hold onto the ball, and Dele Alli does make it 3. So I would say an episode to forget today, but we have qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions League. We're only 2 points off the top 4 with 17 games played this season, but it just would have been nice to do a bit better. Our second loss of the season in the league as well. That's always a sore one there. But we're still in the fight. We're still up there. We just have some of the worst. In fact, if you look at the form, can we sort it by form, please? We are very low down that form table. We need to sort that out quickly before it becomes a bit of an issue. Next episode, I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to come back for Lincoln City, I'll be honest with you. I want to come back for that Lincoln City game in January, which I will try and throw because I want Lincoln to do well, and then we'll probably do Bournemouth as well. Oh, Ben Davies fractured his arm in that game as well. We'll send to a specialist, but that is not good. Either way, thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have done, drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.